crash. Who thinks we're in or about to have a financial crash? Hands up. Most people. Well, what a better opportunity than hear about that now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Well, it's certainly interesting times that we're living in, isn't it? When I first agreed to do this talk, the financial system wasn't as it is at the moment, which is certainly posing some very difficult situations around the world. But obviously my PowerPoint is not working, and I actually wrote this on the board in case the PowerPoint wasn't working. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, it expects something that never was and never will be. Written by Thomas Jefferson, a great man who had a lot of wisdom, who was also facing the same types of problems that we are today. Baron Nathan Mayer Rothschild wrote and said, "I care not what puppet is placed on the throne of England to rule the empire. The man that controls the British money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the supply of money." And that is the root of the problem. If you trace the money and the supply of money, that will reveal to you the corruption of this world. And that corruption is enormous. Its tentacles just don't cease. It's just mind-blowing. And in fact, Thomas Jefferson also wrote that a man that reads nothing at all is more informed than a man that reads just newspapers. So hey, well, back then, are we faced with the same problems now or what? So, okay, we're sort of we've got a wrecked car. My daughter's actually a panel beater, and that's her computer. So, okay, then I'll move on. And the first part of this talk, it's a very, very complex subject that I wanted to cover. And I wanted you, in the end, to see how much power the banks actually have. Okay, so firstly, money. What is money? Most people don't spend much time wondering what money is. Their major concern is how much they have, how much, and how to get some more. Usually the question of what money is arises only when money ceases to function properly. Money should be a medium of exchange and a store of wealth. Throughout time there have been different forms of money, and money can be whatever people agree on as a medium of exchange. As long as people have faith in that medium of exchange, the currency maintains value. A good, honest currency is tied to a store of value, such as gold, as we heard by one of the speakers earlier. A bad currency is tied to nothing. It has no store of value. The notes we have in our pockets and in our bank accounts, they are not wealth. They are the illusion of wealth. They are notes issued by government decree, and what the government gives, the government can take away. They used to be receipts for gold, and they used to be tied to a gold standard, but they are tied to nothing now. This is actually called fiat currency, where central bankers can print money as they see fit. The Reserve Bank, as with central banking elsewhere, are private banks. They are not government banks, as they would have us believe. They operate as cartels to protect their interest and prevent any newcomer entering the market. Is fiat currency a good thing or a bad thing? Fiat currency and fractional reserve banking are at the heart of all our problems in society and have been for centuries. They are a Babylonian satanic system. So let's look at a closer look at fiat currency. This currency is not backed by gold or silver, which is hard currency. In the 1970s, the Western world governments pulled away from the gold standard that tied their currencies to it. And that was by not tying our currencies to gold and silver, it allows currencies to collapse through hyperinflation and devaluation of our currency. Fiat currency always ends in disaster. It always collapses. Governments grow and individuals lose rights. as there are more and more regulations and control on the citizens. Devaluation of the currency is also known as inflation. Currencies have lost 95% of their value since 1913. If we look at the value of gold in 1930, it was around $21 an ounce and was able to purchase a good quality man's suit of the day. If we look at the value of gold, now it is around $850 an ounce and still able to buy a good quality man's suit. But that $21 is lucky to buy you lunch today. So what has changed? Is there a different material quantity in the suit? Is it taking different amount of labour to manufacture the suit? If anything, the suit should be cheaper to make. But it takes more dollars to buy the suit, just like a house. It still has the same 1930s house. It's still got the same bricks in it. It's still exactly the same as what it was in 1930. It just takes more of your labour or dollars to purchase that house. It is a little like owning shares. If two people are the shareholders of a company, but behind your back someone else issues some shares to another two people, it effectively means that your shareholdings have been diluted. Instead of having a half a share in the company, you now have a quarter of a share. Your share value has been devalued. The difference is the effect of inflation on your dollar, where you lose purchasing power, which is a hidden tax on your wealth. However, for the person who issues the currency, they have the full benefit of the full value of that currency, where the end user pays the price of the devaluation of their currency. So when new money comes into the market, the price of a loaf of bread might be $1 a loaf. However, in 6 months' time, that same dollar may only buy you a half a loaf of bread, thus costing you $2 to buy that same loaf of bread. The end user pays with a loss of purchasing power. Now, for people on fixed incomes, this is an added burden they can ill afford. These are the people who suffer the most with inflation, or the increase in the money supply, which is what it really is. The middle and lower classes. Those who benefit from the increase in the money supply are those who issue the money, as well as governments and those awarded the government contracts, the first users of the money. Oh, okay, can you go a few more slides? Governments tell us that the inflation rate is around 3%. And if that was so, the price of fuel would only have increased by an insignificant amount. But it hasn't, nor has food and other consumables. So what is happening here?